Hey everyone, it's been a while. Welcome back to the shop. You might notice it looks a little bit different behind me. I also look a little bit different. That's because it's been something like 8 months since my last video, and I realized I left you all on a bit of a cliffhanger, saying there's something wrong with my brain, we don't know entirely what, and we don't know what we're going to do to deal with it. I'm very happy to say, first and foremost, my brain is back to as normal as it will ever be. It is once again healthy, just about 14 grams smaller than it was previously. Long story short, I had an arteriovenous malformation, or AVM, in my temporal and occipital lobes. It's essentially a malformed cluster of blood vessels that they were acting sort of like a brain tumor. They weren't cancerous, but they were causing seizures, causing other problems. So I got that removed. They cut a part of my skull out, popped the bad stuff out, put my skull back. That all happened in mid-April, and then I was in recovery for about 6 to 8 weeks after that, and it wasn't until the end of June that I was cleared to use power tools, drive cars, do all that fun stuff again. Long story short, I am back, and the shop is also very much back, or improved. It was never really gone. The past summer, I decided to forego posting a lot of videos and worrying about that because I wanted to take advantage of the limited good weather we had. It was a really rainy summer here in Vermont, so the time I had to do exterior work was pretty limited. So, I didn't film much of anything. I'll intersperse, as I'm talking here, a few clips of various bits of work we did. With the help of my friends Will and Kelly, my father, a few local friends, namely Bruce and David, as well as my friend Ariana, who's behind the camera right now, we managed to get all of the exterior insulation and siding and windows and battens and trim done on the exterior of the shop. The exterior is, for all intents and purposes, done. Couple kind of odds and ends, weather stripping around the doors, that sort of thing. I don't know if it's in frame. The sliding door behind me is also new. I was going to keep the original one, and then when I wanted to do that, it just sort of started disintegrating on me because it was so brittle. Every time I tried to put a screw in it, it just exploded. So there's a new door there. Same deal, same hardware. And then, of course, on the inside, there's no chimney. I'm going to insert right now a clip of Noah and I demolishing the old one. It came apart really easily, which is not a good sign for the longevity of that chimney. I was originally going to put in a wood stove, but after thinking it over, I decided to go with a heat pump instead. It's cleaner, it takes up less space. I already have electrical running here. That is brand new as of this week. I'm filming end of October right now. The electrical is a 100 amp dedicated line run from kind of a trunk off my main house. And so should be plenty of power for everything I need to do, and then I have room to upgrade it if I ever need to down the line. So everything is really starting to come together, and I'm at the point now where I can start doing real kind of shop infrastructure and not just making this a building. Namely, dust collection, air filtration, workbenches, setting up for turning this into an actual productive shop, having storage for all the tools that have just been laying about for however long. It's a truly very exciting time and something that I had to I really had to fight for to get it. It's really delightful. I'm really pleased with how it's all come together. So I can't promise I'm going to be putting out videos super regularly. I think I'm going to keep going until I get the shop not done, it'll never be done, but a little more situated. And so I feel like the efficiency of me being out here isn't impacted by me filming. But now that I have heat in here and a few other luxuries, it'll be a lot easier. So I think with that, you can stop staring at my pretty face and we can show you the pretty face of this building. The exterior is done! Any further questions? No, the board and batten is all 1-inch thick hemlock. It's pretty good at being rot resistant. It's locally milled here, mostly locally obtained, so pretty good as far as carbon footprint goes. The windows I had mostly installed the last time I spoke to you, but they've all been trimmed out, painted. I did jam extensions. It was a giant pain. I'm glad I didn't film it because it was a lot of swearing, but it's done now. The siding all is on top of a 1-inch thick layer of polystyrene insulation or styrofoam insulation. That's all been sealed together with silicone and with flashing tape. It's not perfect as far as insulation goes, but for something like a shop, it'll hold the heat in pretty well unless it gets really properly cold. But luckily I don't live in a cold state, so that won't be an issue. No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine through most of the winter, and I'm used to it being cold out anyway, so if I have to put a sweater on in the shop, then I put a sweater on in the shop. I left the crossboards there that make up the gap between the first and second floors. I definitely did it deliberately that they were both a little bit short, and then had to fill them in with my last initial. That was definitely not just because my boards were too short and I didn't feel like cutting a little tiny one. It was deliberate and intentional. But windows are all in. I have an exterior outlet now with the electrical. All the trim is very simply done, but it is done. So over here, this wall was by far the easiest because it's only got the one window on it. Will and Kelly in particular did a huge amount of the siding work on this. My dad did most of the insulation. I fortunately avoided having to do almost any of the insulation work. My dad just sort of did it. It was phenomenal. Thank you, Dad. You can see the condenser unit for the heat pump is out here. It does both heating, cooling, dehumidification. I think it can work just as a fan, although I'm probably not going to do that. So very versatile tool. On the pricier side, but I'll use it a lot, and it is a lot more carbon neutral than most any other form of heating that I was going to get, and doesn't take up any space at all on the footprint of the shop, which is phenomenal. And so while the landscaping is still a complete disaster out here, you might notice there's a sign. I got to thank my sister Nikki for helping me with this. You may recall her from the coffee table project I did a couple of years ago now, but this is in the style of the original J.A. Richmond horseshoeing and repair sign that was up here. He was the local farrier or blacksmith that owned this shop when it was last a working shop, and he died, I believe, in about 1960. So it was sitting idle for a long time, but I wanted to honor the legacy of all the work he did in it by making an homage to his sign. My sister freehanded that also, which is insane, but it's done very much in the same style. And the old one is still inside my shop, but the granddaughter of J.A. Richmond is actually coming to collect it in the next couple months, which I think is very nice. Oh, and that reminds me, I'm renaming my channel. It's no longer Beat Up Boots Workshop, because frankly, I think most people thought I did boot stuff for the workshop, which isn't what it is. So from here on out, Halen Woodworking. Easy, and it's on the sign already, so I don't have to change anything. So that's where the shop is. Like I said, I don't know that I'm going to be putting out videos at all consistently. So do expect to see more from me in the future as I keep getting back, especially into more woodworking and less construction. I will definitely be filming more and more and more. And hopefully y'all will enjoy it. But welcome now to Halen Woodworking. Thank you for everyone who supported me through Beat Up Boots Workshop and through brain surgery. I'm delighted to be back and to be working again, and to have all of you along for the journey. So thank you again, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good one.